K2MCS, and today I have a video for you on the DMAG. I'm going to show really quick on a different version, vivid markers that the DMAG is compatible for. You have the Vortex. Some players report that the magazine is a little bit hard to install and insert and remove out. That is true. So it depends on your markers, depends on how used your magazine is. It takes some practice. This is a 468, it just comes right in. If you want to reduce down how hard it goes in, you can actually take some material off of the mag well or take some material off of the magazine. So it depends on how you want to have the mag insert to come in. This is the Blizzard. Goes right in. Right, that's pretty much the DMAG. We first had it out in 2011. The idea came from during the first end war. A lot of players were they didn't have enough magazines. The magazines were stopped jamming, and so we want to put out a magazine that is simple to service, simple to take apart, and also cost effective. DMAGs are about $6 a piece. You can get a pack of 10 for about $60. Before DMAGs, magazines were about $30–40, and when players go out to the field, they lose the magazine. Basically, that's ruined their day. So we designed the DMAG to make it simple, inexpensive, especially for to grow the sports. Fields, pinball fields can actually rent them out. Again, if a player who rent the magazine and they go out there and they lose the magazine, it's okay. It's $5 or $6 to replace it, as opposed to a $30–40 magazine. It's make it hard for new players to. The magazine has been one of the biggest barrier to entry for to start to get into the sports. You gotta have enough magazines, right? You gotta have these 5 magazines to actually have a good time. So by just getting the magazine alone, it costs $150, $200 before you actually can get into the sport. So let me show real quick on how to take the magazine apart and then put it back together. So real simple. So it depends on how used the magazine is or how often you take it apart. You can actually just pop it open. Sometimes if it's hard to come out, you need to put a little screwdriver there, pop it out. But this one is coming out pretty easily. The parts are mirror, basically. They are actually the same, it's just reverse. That extrusion, and these are the tower and the paddle. I'm gonna show you the difference between the different version of the tower that we did. The first version that we released out, it doesn't have a groove right there. So but a lot of players were concerned that it's hard for them to load because there's no space for the door to go down when they load around. So we decided, okay, let's make it easier for the players. So we added a groove right there that allowed the door to actually to go down, and you can drop the ball in easier. But by doing that, it caused a problem with first strike and shape round because the tail, sometimes it got caught in the groove there, and it caused condition where the round stopped loading. We can take it out and then depress it and unjam it, and it goes back up. But we didn't like that, so we have to go back on the version without the groove because a lot of players now shooting first strike and shape round. So we have to go back and remove that groove out. So now if you want to get better feeding on first strike and shape rounds, you want to get a tower. It's on the website, so you can order it. The version without the groove. If you're ordering, DMAG now comes without the groove for first strike and shape rounds version, and for the standard paintball version, it still comes with a groove until later on when we make some changes. All right, let me show you the different version of the shell too. So before that, the first generation of the DMAG, we made it with a soft shell. It's kind of like a shampoo bottle. It's really strong, flexible. It's got a point where you can toss in the air. It just down. You can step on it. Very, very, very durable. Player were loving it. but at the same time they don't like that flexibility, that flimsy feel to it. So we changed the shell, made it a little bit harder, rigid. But a lot of players were reporting that the shell kind of crack on the top. It's the crack. It's not caused by the shell. It's caused by the internal itself, by these towers. So let me show really quick here. This is the version that that has the groove, and if you are changing your DMAG shell, you can notice that when you put it into your shell, it gets stuck right here. See that? So it's really tight. So as you push the tower up to the top, it will stretch the shell, and if you have an impact onto the tower of the magazine, it will crack and split up. That's why we also made a correction improvement on the tower too. You can see that. I'll swap it out really quick here. Oops. Back in. And see how smooth that goes. That's how your tower should be. So if you have a problem with these, have the old part, and just contact us and we'll find a solution for you. So let me show you how to put it back together. All right, when you put it back together, see there is a half crack on that side. That has to fit with the spring. Goes in, slide. You put in your follower, put your spring in. Right, and put your plate back in. There are two holes right here for the spring. Gotta make sure that you put in the corresponding hole. Don't cross it. If you cross it, the return spring not gonna be able to push back your paddle, and you may cause a malfunction situation there. All right, slide that over, and that's pretty much it. That's really simple on the DMAGs. That's why these are great for fields, for players who getting started to paintball. Like I said, the cost is $60 for a pack of 10, so you can carry enough magazine to have a good time, and easy for you to replace if there's an issue. So I'm going to show really quick on what we do here to make a DMAG. So we have to use our fusion. As simple as this look, this design right here is really complex. It took about 6 months to actually get the material just right to actually make the extrusion. As you can see that DMAG is really simple to make. We cut into size. We have the parts we put together. That's what makes DMAG so good. And the reason why DMAGs are so good because of the spring. It use really soft spring. So when you go to an environment where it's too humid, wet, or it's too hot, it causes the ball to swell up, cause the ball to kind of deform. And if you have really strong spring, it will cause the ball to kind of crunch together and it stop feeding. So that's why the DMAGs are great for that environment. We have the Helix too. Helix are great for general use, but for soft paintball, for paintball that are in an environment where it needs a little bit of care, so DMAGs are better for it. Simple comparison for you how the size of DMAGs looks like. So this is your 20 rounder. It's a horizontal rotation. You basically consider you have two mags in one. So one mag this way and a mag this way. Compare with a true feet. This is Tipman. True feet is a 12 rounder. You can see that it's a little bit shorter, but that's a 10 round. This is the ZMAG. This is a 10 rounds rotational flip there. And comparing to that too, you can see that it's shorter, much better, more compact than the ZMAG as well. And this is our this is the old version shell, but this is our 7 rounder, 14 total, 14, 7 each side, and that's where you have your 2 rounds in one. So DMAG has its place in the sports, for fields to rent out, for new players to come into the entry into the market, give them enough magazine to play, cost effective. you can have, and the nice thing about it, there's we have all the different platforms. You have the 468 that you can shoot with DMAGs. You have your Vortex. You have your Hurricane. You have your Blizzard. I mean, there's so many different platforms, and you have your bolt, and even a bolt pump. You have so many different platforms that you can use DMAG with. Then, great thing about it too is when you go to a field and you have a players that using the same platform as you do, you can do a mag trade. Just you in a firefight and you need to take control over position and your buddies right now mag. You can actually toss them one. It's okay because the cost is almost as much as a pod. You don't have to kind of it's a $40 magazine. You can't just hand over a $40 magazine, but it's okay for hand over a $5 magazine, and so that way you can have better time and more realistic, because in a real firefight you can actually hand out a lone magazine. You can actually just drop right there and pick it up later. So right, that's pretty much about DMAG. If you have any questions, give me a shout, message me, email, and I'll do my best to help you out. Thank you very much, and see you on the field.
Combat Sports.